Most of the time, when you get started, you're going to be hired to do various things, right? I existed in that space for a very short period of time, only because I had worked in development for such a long time, and because I went to Stark, and all my friends were starting to become executives or agents themselves, so that like afforded me a few extra levers of power that I could kind of play with. But if those things weren't there, then I would have like a much longer road of like delivering and trying to like deliver scripts for people that hired me. And again, it's the same for film and television. Deliver scripts for people that hired me so that I can earn their trust to eventually do some things that are more original or things that I'm passionate about. But for me, like I said, I had those relationships having worked in entertainment before, so I did a few assignments and was like, this is garbage. And like, let me see if I can kind of get things going on my own. Yeah.
And this, by the way, you just sort of explained, I think, in a great way. To me, as somebody who obviously runs an MFA program, the value of an MFA is that you start from a much higher platform and you have levers to pull. And if you're just going out on your own, it can be a really long, flight plan.
I'll say too, talking about the MFA programs, is that we have this saying that's pretty well known amongst the Stark community, which is you don't realize the benefit of your Stark education / MFA education until like 5 years out. Like you don't realize how helpful it is until 5 years out. And the reason is because when we graduated with our master's degree, we were starting where everyone else was starting that like didn't have a master's degree, right? And like we were interning, we were being assistants, some of us were writing and like, working at coffee shops or whatever the hell. But then over the course of 5 years, as your network starts to move up together, all those other people that don't have that network, like they hit the ceiling where like they can't seem to like make the jump from assistant to creative executive, or they're having a hard time getting a writer's assistant job, or they're having a hard time going from writer's assistant to like staff writer, or they're having a really hard time getting an agent, a really hard time getting a manager. And they sort of like hit that ceiling that's really, really hard to break through. And the network you get in a master's program allows you to kind of like hit those tipping points. And if it's one thing that I should probably drive home since we're talking about a career in writing, is that unlike other careers, there isn't this like, I'm sure you've heard this before, like this sort of steady kind of climb, right? It's like, it's all about tipping points. Like the entirety of this career is about tipping points, and it never ever changes regardless of what level you're at. You're consistently working, seems like nothing's gonna happen, and then you tip. Like I said with Sandcastle, like I had been in LA since I was 19 years old. Went to undergrad there, grad school there. I interned at like 5 places. I like did plays. I was like making short films. Like I was like attacking this goddamn, town from like every angle, and it wasn't budging. Like nothing was happening. I couldn't get anything started. I was working my ass off. And then in a weekend, everything changed. And then I thought that was sort of like unique. And then everyone's like, no, bro, that's just like how it goes, man. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. Like you're working your ass off, and then like something tips, and you're kind of like in a new realm. And then you're sort of like, okay, how do I get to the next realm? And it's like, well, the same as you did the last one. Like you work your ass off, you pull the levers of power, nothing happens, and then you tip, and you're like, holy shit, I'm in a new place. How do I get to the next place? Well, same as the one before. And it's just like rinse, repeat for like 30 years or whatever, whatever it is.
And then you die.
And then you die.